Okay, so we will create the AWS account and walk through maybe possibly next week. Today we will complete these three topics. Shared responsibility model. See, at a high level, from exam perspective or from for our understanding perspective, we need to understand two important things. Who is taking care of security of the cloud and security in the cloud. So security of the cloud is taken care by AWS team, AWS data center team. So security in the cloud is taken care by customer. So when I say security of the cloud, what I am referring here are the physical data center related security, like the firmware, the security aspect, the data security, the whenever the customer is or the disks are being removed from the data center, it has to be crushed, wiped, and taken care. So the physical network, sorry, physical data center, the physical network infrastructure, the data flowing in the infra level within the data center, and the hardware related security. So all these are taken care by the AWS team, data center team, and that's why we call security of the cloud. AWS team is responsible. Security in the cloud. So in the cloud means for your operating system, the patching, monitoring. So AWS doesn't take care of the monitoring and patching of the OS if it is infrastructure as a service category. In such case, customer has to ensure that your operating system is fully patched, application has got all the latest updates and so on, and application related security aspects like the TLS encryption or the application data transmission. So all those application specific aspects, the firewall needs, IAM configuration, data protection aspects. So all these are customer related responsibility. So I'll show you in a different view, so you will have a little better understanding. So generally in exam questions, security of the cloud is AWS data center team responsibility. Security in the cloud is customer responsibility. In the slide, I will show you a couple of, okay. So if you look at here, okay, sorry. Okay, so here there are two sections here, AWS responsibility and customer responsibility. So AWS team takes care of the geographical presence, availability zone, region, edge location, any problem with these component, AWS team will take care of it. And the foundational core services also, AWS team is going to take care of it, compute, storage, database, network, all those things. Customer, we have to manage the application, the data, and the underlying encryption related stuffs, the because like you are the one who have option to enable encryption, to enable specific firewall rules, firewall policies, to create some network level rules. Customer has the knowledge, customer has the exposure. They only know which ports has to be allowed, which kind of encryption is suitable for them, and what kind of firewall policies are applicable for them. So customer has to take care of the security in the cloud. So in the cloud means the applications, the workload, all those setups, the configurations, the changes has to be taken care by the customer here. So in a simple view, so if you it is the same thing I am explaining again and again. So responsibility for the security of the cloud is AWS. Security I mean, in the cloud is the customer responsibility. So all these aspects, OS level changes, network level changes. I mean, when I say network, it's all logical networking, logical firewall, and again, virtualized operating system. It's not the physical one. Okay, the physical hardware, physical storage, physical networking component. All these things are managed and maintained by AWS data center team. So you can go to this link and you will get little more clearer understanding on what we are talking about here. So customer is always responsible for the data. Okay, if you are not backing up the data, or if you are not enabling encryption for your data, or if your data is sent on a unsecure network, it's a customer responsibility because customer is given the option. So you can either send the data over the public internet, or you can send the data over a direct connect circuit, or if you can send the data over a VPN connection. So customer has the option. If customer data is very important for their business, then they need to choose the option where how to send the data, and whether the encryption should be enabled on that, and what level of encryption, whether it should be TLS version 1.2 or 1.3. So all these things are customer responsibility, and definitely they are the one who need to take care of the backup. They need to properly archive it, and customer has the full control on the data as well as the application, because application is developed by the customer for their business need. So they have to develop and ensure there are no vulnerabilities, there are no issues in the application that they have developed. So customer is the one who needs to take care of the vulnerabilities, security aspects of the application. And customer also generally given the option to allow what kind of devices can access the AWS data center application. So whether it is a laptop, whether it is a mobile or desktop, so what kind of devices can access is again customer can restrict which version of laptops can use, which operating system version they can use from mobile and the devices. So that level of control is given to customer. They can control the devices, the that could access the application running on AWS platform. So customer is the one who need to take care of what kind of identities needs to be created, who are all the individuals who can access AWS, and who are all the groups who can access what portion of AWS. So all these account identities are customer responsibility, because we are the one who create identity for our employees, for our different business unit as a group. So we provide permissions, control, the authorization. So all these are under customer control. So AWS is taking care of the physical infrastructure, compute network, storage, all those stuff. And as a customer, we also have equal amount of responsibility. So we should not think, since it is AWS data center, AWS is completely responsible for each and everything. See, AWS team does not have access for your application. They does not have access to your data. They will never have access to your operating system. So customer is the one who will have access to the operating system level, application level, and specific logical firewall, logical networking. Customer has to take care of it. Okay, so this understanding we should be clear. So a shared responsibility model, we generally get 2 or 3 questions in the cloud practitioner level, and one question possibly in the solution as architect level as well, at the associate level as well. Okay, any questions on the shared responsibility model? At a very high level, security of the cloud is AWS team, data center team responsibility. Security in the cloud is customer responsibility. We are the one who need to take care of all these aspects. So when you say hardware, don't restrict it only to server storage or those things. Even the UPS, the backend power connection, the cooling infrastructure, the air conditioning, all these are coming under hardware category. All these are being managed and maintained by the AWS data center team. Okay, so we were able to cover only 3 topics or 4 topics for today. So next week, when we come back on Saturday, we will start creating a free tier account, and we'll start going through AWS services one by one. And from next week onwards, we'll have sessions on both the days. On Saturday, it is 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. IST, and on Sunday, it is 9:30 a.m. to 12, the same time that we had session today. So any questions on any of these topics? So you guys can start with your questions now. We are on 12. So first you can complete questions on English, and I'll give you some more time to ask questions on Tamil as well.
Hello, Stan. Regarding the direct connect,
Yes, Kabir,
so
yeah.
it will be, yeah, it will be on customer on premises, or it will be in AWS
Okay.
manages some
So
other
see,
places.
when you talk about direct connect, there are 2 different data centers: customer data center and AWS data center. So customer data center will also have its own router, and will connect to a kind of service provider location. There also we'll have a router or a device, and from there it will be AWS data center router. So there will be generally minimum of 2 or 3 routers that will be involved to connect it. So AWS side of connection to service provider, it will be already existing, and only the new connection will happen from the service provider location to the router. So service provider is the network service provider. So AWS has got tie up with different network providers across the globe. So they will we will have to raise a request in order to have the facility enabled. So direct connect, there is a provision. I'll maybe walk you through on how the procedure works. There is a document that we need to fill in, and when we start filling in that, it will automatically tell us who are the providers who can provide direct connect options in that particular location. See, these days there are options that are provided by the direct cloud provider itself. For example, Microsoft has started providing their own Express Route direct option, which Microsoft itself manages end-to-end Express Route connectivity from customer to Microsoft data center. That kind of options are coming up. So over the period, the network control will also evolve. And maybe in the future, Amazon will have full control on end-to-end physical fiber channel connectivity between customer data center and AWS data center. But as on date, majority of the connections are going through the network provider existing circuit. So it is two side of the router which needs to be handshaking in order to establish this direct fiber cabling connectivity between customer data center and AWS data center. Fine. Did I, Sabir, did I answer you, or you have still further more questions?
Yeah, yeah, got it, got it. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So if there are no questions in English, feel free to ask in Tamil as well. Tamil கேட்கலாம். Questions இருந்தா கேளுங்க. I can explain any of the topic. See, I'll share this sheet in the Google Drive. இதை go through பண்ணுங்க. Okay, so if you have questions, feel free to ask in the next session also. So live session வரதே வந்து mainly to get things clarified on the fly, right? உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது questions இருக்கு அப்படின்னா feel free to ask me anytime. Okay, feel free to interrupt me anytime. Okay, I think இது வந்து already, I think most of you have understanding of all these topics. That's why I feel less questions. So next week we will connect on Saturday, then we'll continue the session. So thanks for joining today. Thanks for opting. Let's stay connected. Okay, I'll share the recording link in the group. So any questions? Go ahead, Archana, or anyone, any questions?
No, sir. As
Okay,
you mentioned, sir, pretty much basic, and then you
correct.
explain.
Sure.
So
Fine.
maybe in the more sessions.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. In the upcoming sessions, the topics will be new, possibly for some of you. So you might have questions. Yeah, thank you very much again. We'll connect on next Saturday. Okay, I'll stop.